If you are logging into my team today, this is what matters. Happy Wednesday, everybody. No new challenges. They did update Breakout. We have some interesting things going on today, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. No new weekly challenges or anything like that, but we still have our dailies. It is free, 5,000 MT. Go ahead and knock it out. You do need to play multiplayer. Hopped in the park real quick this morning just to knock that out because I'm still on that offline grind. I'm honing in on a few big rewards, but of course we do our dailies and we do our exhibitions. I went ahead and splurged and finally bought a diamond flash just to make sure I can do all my exhibitions. Like I said, do the ones you can. Every now and then you might just have a repeating one that you want to go ahead and buy a card so you can get it done. That's up to you, of course. For season 4, nothing new here. Make sure we lock in that Beasts Hall of Fame option pack. A day and 20 hours left. They're very cheap now. Please get that done. It's definitely worth it. These are for you just to keep track of that season grind. Of course, we're building up a good number of triple threat wins just from doing the gauntlet. So who knows how many we'll get by the end of the year, or end of the season, I should say. We are off to a great start though. Season 4 rewards, just 2 more rebounds with DeAndre Jordan. I did unlock him from the season 4 season pass grind, which is going very well. And the all-star team up. If you're getting this done, good on ya. I don't think we'll get it done on this channel. Just too much to grind offline. Even with no new challenges today, I still feel like I have plenty to do. In the weekly challenges tab, we have this Trey Murphy, and he's great. A lot of people like this card. I like this card. I'm looking forward to getting him. I'll get him pretty much next game I play. I'll make sure to have 5 Pelicans on the bench and get 22 points with a small forward. Other than that, I did it in Breakout, and I had one game where I put up 42 points with a Pelicans player. Really pretty easy to get this done, so definitely grab him. And let's just take a quick look, because I do want to highlight this card. He is quite good. He's down here in rewards, and you can see this 25, 26. They'll keep adding cards to this. I've pretty much done every one except for that Austin Reeves. If you guys remember that one, it was a bit challenging, and that card to me wasn't worth it. But every other one I've always got done. And this guy's good. Small forward, 6'8", 93-point shot, really good, and a 97 dunk. What are the 5 Ds of dodgeball that we talk about? Dunking, shooting, defense, size, and speed. 6'8" at the small forward, pretty good size, but amazing dunking, has the 3. His defense is serviceable. I wouldn't call him necessarily elite defender by any means, but good size, good athleticism, very good diamond card. This guy could absolutely be used in salary cap, depending where you are. You know, if you're starting out, this could be your starting small forward. If you already are pretty far in the game, you probably have a better starting small forward and on the bench, but still a fun card to add to your lineup. And some really good badges. Hall of Fame Limitless, Lightning Launch already. He does need on-ball menace. I'm a little surprised they didn't give him that. But Hall of Fame Physical Finisher, Hall of Fame Posterizer, and they gave him Hall of Fame Set Shot Specialist. So I mean, his shooting is dunking. I mean, Hall of Fame Deadeye, like, really a pretty complete card. You could add a couple badges just defensively to make him that much better. And of course, I would add the on-ball menace. But overall, really good card. Even gave him shifty. So an exciting free card from 2K. I know we didn't get a ton of content yesterday or today, but there is little things like that that are making it worthwhile. And we can go over to the season. There's really no other challenges I'll highlight today. Of course, just keep going on your coaching and knock out that signature challenge. But for the season grind, we still have a lot of work to do. Breakout is going great, and they did an update on that. So first we'll talk on Gauntlet. And you can see I'm like 19 games away, so we'll probably get this done today and even have a pack opening possibly live on stream, or we'll get that in the video tomorrow. So we're gonna finish out Breakout. We have Domination going really well. We're at 42 and 99 stars. I think my face is blocking it, but yes, we're making pretty good progress. Slowly but surely we'll get that done. But while we're talking about offline grinds, let's look at what they did In traditional breakout, they updated it. So it was those hometown lineups. Now it's current. You'll see era current, and it's kind of random different names, like one opponent's players of the month, one is MVP candidates. Same thing, play 3 current teams in a row to unlock the warp, go to the second board, search for the corners. That's the, formula when you're trying to get the exchange pieces. But what they added was new cards. So before it was like Dirk Nowitzki, and I think was it DeMar DeRozan? There was like 1 or 2 cards that they added. Now it's these 4: Galaxy Opal Jaylen Brown, Pink Diamond Kawhi. Those are really good cards. Diamond Keontae George, pretty good, and Amethyst. I mean, all pretty good meta cards in their own right. Of course, Kawhi might be the best out of those. Jaylen Brown's a little undersized, but I actually played against him just yesterday, and he was hooping. These are still really, really rare. The drops have not been great on these player cards in Breakout, but it is a nice little trickle on top. I think I've been playing Breakout most of the year, and I've gotten a player one time. I got Amethyst Deron Williams. That was a while ago, so I wouldn't count on getting Jaylen Brown or Kawhi Leonard, but if you're already grinding Breakout, it's cool that they updated it. If you get lucky and get Kawhi, definitely let us know in the comments. That would be so cool. I really want Kawhi because you can look at my collection. What was he? Game On. That was like 2-3 seasons ago, right? Really a season 1 Pink Diamond. But look, I got John Morant as a reward, and then we got Candace Parker this season from level 13. So if I can somehow get a free Kawhi, I would actually lock these cards in and take a 95 plus Wild Gems pack. Wouldn't expect anything too crazy out of there. But it's just things like that that kind of get the brain moving on different types of grinds we can do. I personally won't prioritize that breakout grind right now, but I am happy that it's there. We're still locked in on Gauntlet. But just one more thing to think about here in the play tab, whether it's Showdown, Breakout, Triple Threat Park. Look, they're doing a bit of a beat, taking a little bit of a pause on brand new content every day. Usually we're used to Tuesday content that we might be grinding today. They didn't give us that at the start of season 4, so just take advantage and get ahead of the curve, whether it's Breakout, Domination, Salary Cap, whatever mode you're playing. Showdown. I know a lot of people are grinding Showdown and having a lot of fun. It is one of the most worthwhile modes. What I will say about 2K is when you go online and win, they usually reward you for it. Some of the modes are tough because you don't get much when you lose, but a lot of us do play this game to be a bit competitive at times. I know for myself, certain days I really do want that competitive fire. Other days I'm kind of chilling. Start of the season I usually kind of chill, do a bit more offline, and then as the season ramps up, my team improves, and that's when I start getting more excited to really go get online and play. So we'll see how we kind of break it out, but whatever you're working on, just keep on it today because we have a little time. And we'll touch on the market because it's a great day to spend a little time in the market and prioritize that grind. King of the Court is coming. They didn't update rewards for us, so we don't know. I'm guessing they'll pretty much be the same. I don't see why they would update it unless they do a big festival on Friday, which they haven't really teased. So still a bit of a flux on what's coming Friday. Of course, we have Wild Gem uncertainty, and now we have King of the Court kind of rewards. So a few things that we will get updates on here in the next 24 to 48 hours for sure. With that, we can just touch in on the season grind, because as I said in my first video of season 4, this is kind of the anchor of our grind. I mean, if you get this done, level 40, and you don't even need an exchange piece, but ideally you get 1 exchange piece and do domination, like that is a successful season 4. Anything on top of that could be a cherry on top. So anybody who feels a little overwhelmed on the grind, like give yourself 2 or 3 goals, get to level 40, get 1 exchange piece or domination, and then just have fun. Anything else that you can do, it will just kind of be a cherry on top, especially if you're working the auction house. But we are at level 23, really flying through this, and it's because of these 2 times XP coins. Like once you get 1 or 2 of these, I think the first one on the free pass might be level 14. I did get one from the Pro Pass. There's actually one at level 4. You get this at level 4, that's 2 hours. Just pop that, play some domination or breakout. Next thing you know, you're going to be at like level 10, a couple more levels, you're getting some more XP, and it just starts trickling down from there. So I actually have like 3 or 4 2-time hour-long XPs that I'm going to be using today when I play domination and breakout. So I'm expecting to be getting close to level 30 here pretty quick. Again, this is meant to be a season-long grind. You should have plenty of time to get to level 40, but use those 2 times XP points. Those things really do come in handy. I got 4 here, so by using those 4 and just grinding, I should be really close to level 40 here. Okay, so that's, kind of the grind for today. No technical new challenges. Of course, do your coaching challenges, maybe the signature challenge. Make sure you get that Trey Murphy. He's going to be a great card just to have in your collection, maybe for salary cap, and focus on your season-long grind. There's still plenty of grind today, even though we didn't have new content. We can check into the exchange, nothing real new, but I do like to just check in here. If they ever do update it, we'll be ready. So as soon as they add some new exchanges, we'll be talking about it that day for sure. But again, the older wild gem exchanges are here. They are still holding up the market just a tiny bit, but man, this wild gem market is about to collapse if we don't see any more exchanges. As we talked about, if we don't get new wild gem exchanges, there's really no reason for them to hold their value. The Galaxy Opals are holding just a tiny bit of value right now with hopes of a new exchange. The Pink Diamonds were holding a bit more value because of this exchange, but now they're actually, solid on buyout. Yesterday, there was just a couple on buyout. Now there's a bunch. People have kind of panic sold their Pink Diamond wild gems. We'll have to see. But other than that, here in the exchange tab, the big one is this season 4 right now. I am expecting more exchanges to come, but for now on this tab, all you really want to think about is this season 4 and which card you're thinking of getting, or if you are going to try your luck and get a hidden gems pack or just take the badges. So just be aware of that. And, of course, the season 2 and 3 wild gems, I don't recommend doing them now. It's a bit of a sunk cost, but they are at least holding up some of the wild gem market. So if these things ever get a timer, or if we ever get a new one, it's going to have a big impact on the wild gem market. And what I mean by timers, if they ever give us a 1-week notice that these ones are going away, and they put a timer up next to that limit 1, and same thing with this, it would have a big impact because these are holding up a few different wild gem teams just by themselves, and if these go away, then technically there'd be no reason for those to hold much value. So very, very interesting there. And with that, we can check out the pack market. Not too much new activity. Again, these super packs are out. I don't think too many people are ripping them, and there's just so many cards. So kind of same mindset as yesterday. I do think the market's still pretty strong right now, pretty high and pretty strong. That's what happens when we don't get a ton of new cards and a ton of new content. The cards that are in the auction house tend to go up a little bit. So it's good and bad, this content lull. If you're working the market, it's kind of good because now we have, a little higher prices to sell at. And we can dive right into the market because there is always a lot to talk about. I think we'll start on this new set because I think, Beast, we're on Wednesday. Tomorrow is kind of their last day in packs technically, so we're getting pretty close to their bottom price, which is nice. And I will keep highlighting this Renaud. I'm starting to think he really could go up once he leaves packs, just due to scarcity. His price never dipped down, below 10 like we thought it would. It's already Wednesday. If it was gonna do it, it probably would have done it by now. He may sneak down to 13 or 12 on Thursday. I'm not really sure. It almost looks like maybe some people are doing some price, manipulation here and trying to build his floor at 14. You don't see really any listed below 14. Could be, interesting, something to think about. But in general, I do think this card's rare enough. He will go up when he's out of packs. We can see 18.5 not selling right now at the time of this video. I do see a bid here. I'll probably just come bid like 9. That's a bit high for an amethyst that's still in packs, but I think this card's rare enough. It's worth it. Cockbrenner never stayed this high. He really did get down to 2, 3, 4 MT, and then he bounced right back up to 8. So the question is, this one's kind of getting down to like 8. Will he bump up to 16, 17 once he's out of packs? I'm willing to take the risk, even just for the experiment. So I'll buy at least 3 or 4 of these on bid. I'm going to try to get him for a pretty good deal, 9 to 10K MT. He might trickle down a little bit just in the next 24 hours down to like 12 or 11. I'll probably still hold and then try to sell him in a week or two, hopefully closer to 16, 17, or 18. Ayo is just a bit lower. He's already trickling down, kind of like we've seen most amethysts do. His supply is just a lot higher. So I think you can win this guy on bid like 4 to 5K. And I do think he will go up at least a little bit when he's out of packs and sneak up to like 7, 8, 9K. You can see all the 7K ones aren't even selling right now. So don't buy at 7K. Try to get this guy at like 5. even below. Let's see if I can win a bid at like 47 for him, 49 even. We'll see. But that's the price I would shoot for AO, and I do think he has some room to grow once he leaves packs. But you can just see the supply of AO is much, much higher than the supply of Reynaud, and that has to be into our buying. You know, our mindset is supply and demand, and scarcity really impacts cards. So just seeing so many more AOs really puts his price at a bit lower than Reynaud. And let's check out Zaire Williams. This is a card I almost want to run. I feel like I could definitely run him in salary cap, maybe even park. If I had the right teammates, we could put together a good run. But his price is a little higher. He's definitely more rare than AO, but plenty below that 10. You know, anytime you see ones listed at 9 pretty consistently, those are new listed though. So I think you could get him 6 to 7 range, something like that, and he should get up to maybe 10. Maybe I'll put a bid of like 5,500. Not high enough. So Zaire's pretty rare, a little bit more risky than Reynaud because he's not quite as rare as him, but still, I think if you can get him 6,000 MT, 7,000 MT, around there, he could sneak up to like 12. We'll see. This is kind of the first time we've had some premium amethysts. The last 3 or 4 sets, pretty much all the amethysts got down to 2, 3, 4,000 MT by the end of it. This is the first time we've seen amethysts hold their value through the whole pack cycle. What are they going to do when they leave packs? History shows they should go up. I still think they'll go up. We'll see. But scaling this up, you know, it's been pretty consistent now. Good meta cards are jumping a bit in price once they leave packs. We saw it with Naz Reid. I mean, he is pretty rare. I mean, selling high 30s now consistently. When he was in packs, he was easily attainable at 22 to 25. So cards like that are great buys. Dyson Daniels is a bit harder because he's been on bid the whole time. Realistically, this card was 150K when he came out, and now he's kind of trickling down to 100. So sometimes those premium cards go down a bit, but it's these meta mid-tier cards that not only hold their value, but actually go up a little bit. And we've seen the same thing with Nickel Walker-Alexander. I mean, he's all day at like 44, 45, was getting this card even in the 20s when he was in packs. So we want to take that same mindset. Like, there's definitely some cards in the B set that are going to go up when they leave packs. One I have circled is Aldama. A 7-foot small forward with 30 base badges, and I think he has like 4 or 5 slots. Let's see exactly. 5 more slots. So you're going to give a 7-foot small forward every badge in the game but 5. This is a pretty good card, and he's resting almost around 20. I've bought in a couple at 20. You can see I have a bid now. If you're winning these on bid at 20, you could day trade and flip them for like 27, 28. He sells pretty quick around that price. But to me, I don't see why he wouldn't do some similar activity to Naz Reid or Nickel Walker-Alexander and sneak up closer to 40 once he leaves packs. So he's one I have circled. I'm sure some of these other diamonds could be applicable, whichever one you're locking in on. Anthony Black, on the other hand, he's more of a comparison to Dyson Daniels, though he is on buyout now. So to me, once a card's on buyout, we actually do have real room to move and groove, because then you just have a pretty solid floor of the card. So if we know that he will sell, probably it looks like 85 buyout, because what is this, 89 not selling? 89 not selling. So I mean, Anthony Black's buyout price is probably closer to 80. So I would come in and bid in the 60s. Like I see this one ending in 10 minutes. Let's just see if I can get him for like 65K. And then if I sell him for 75, I'm still making profit. We'll see if I end up winning that bid. But good to know he's on buyout now, so a little bit less risk. If you can get some in the 60s to 70s, I would think Anthony Black goes up. That could be another good investment. And the last one I'll highlight from this set, and you feel free to expand on this idea. I mean, if you identified a card out of this set that you think will hold value and go up, it might not just be the ones I listed. These are some of the ones I'm thinking about, but I'm, like I've always said, I'm just one man. So some of y'all might see trends that I don't. I'm just kind of trying to provoke thought of, you know, what we can potentially do. But this Eddie Jones, he's doing a lot of similar things. We've seen kind of some of the better pink diamonds. They come out in packs. They're around like 80 to 90. Now we're at the end of the pack cycle. He's down in the 60s. A pretty good card for being down in the 60s. think if you can win them on bid 50 to 60, you give yourself a lot of room for profit in the future, particularly because these pink diamonds get really rare once they're out of packs. We can go back just a set or two. I mean, some of these 'tis the season pink diamonds, they weren't super meta, but they're getting pretty rare. Let's look at Kyle Korver. Kind of crazy to see him on bid only now. I mean, this card was easily in the 60s and 70s he was in packs. I'm almost surprised to see this, to be honest. I thought he might still be on buyouts. This Jalen Williams was really cheap in packs. Looked like his supply is finally starting to catch up, but still none cheaper than what, 77 buyout? People are getting him in the 40s and 50s, and his price has absolutely gone up since he's left packs, and he's not even that meta per se. So for sure, there's trends on these pink diamonds. I'm just curious about Jared Wallace. Even a price like his has gone up because he was in the 50s and he's not particularly meta, though I always like a good Jared Wallace card, but he's gone up as well. A bit because there was no Tuesday drop and no content. So next week, if we get a bunch of drops, maybe the pink diamonds don't have the same exact activity, but still at the right price, a card like Eddie Jones, I think has a lot of room for profit. Let's see, there's one ending in 8 hours, so I won't bid on it right now, but if that was going to end a little sooner, I would for sure bid on that Eddie Jones, and something to keep in mind on there. So yes, we're towards the end of the pack cycle for beasts. That's just a week-long cycle, so something to think about. We're towards the end of it. Now's the time to maybe make some purchases. We've been waiting. They came out Friday. Now it's Wednesday. We don't buy these cards right when they come out, but Wednesday, Thursdays is one of the better times to buy that newest set. And then they turn into the past set, and we have kind of a different strategy, which we can talk about. It's one of our favorite strategies to make MT, and I'm doing it really every day. I just got a great deal on a Buzelis. I got him right at 40K on bid. Have another one that I bid on too. Think I can sell him at like 60. I mean, goodness, look at his price. It's really gone up, especially on a day like today. So as always, be comfortable with the past sets. Identify a couple cards that you start monitoring their market. Buzelis and Ace Bailey have just been great for me. I mean, I'm making 5 to 10K MT. Sometimes it feels like multiple times a day with these guys. And just have your list of 10 to 15 players. Sometimes people are asking me, what are some of mine? I'll give you the list right now, just of the recent ones. And if you've been watching the channel, it's familiar names. But yeah, Buzelis, Ace Bailey, the Kaishan George, even Malik Monk, all these diamonds that are anywhere from 20 to 45, 50K. Ton of value. Spencer Dinwiddie, I'm trading almost every day. You can get him in the 30s and usually sell him in the 40s quite easily. There's just not a ton up. So when one comes up on bid, not a ton of people are bidding, because to win a bid, you got to be there for that moment. But if you just put them up for 24 hours, at some point, someone will probably buy them. Like someone's going to buy this 40K, someone's probably going to buy this 43K, then there'll just be one or two up really, really high. And unless someone's sitting at their, game in 4 hours and 54 minutes, they really might not win this bid. So there's just a lot of ways to get a good deal on a card, even if it's pretty rare. Goran Dragic is randomly a really good moneymaker card. I can get this card below 20 quite often, just on a situation like this. There's 12 hours there, so I won't bid. But this 22 will get snatched up, and I sold one yesterday for 27. So definitely just a few thousand MT on a cheap, easy diamond card. But there's more, guys. There's absolutely more. We saw Okongwu do crazy things, and he's still really, really high. I mean, this card was in the 40s. So if anybody bought a bunch of Okongwus, you're probably rich, which is good for you. But just keep in mind things like that can happen. Keontae George, look how rare he is. This is a great example. Like, I'm going to come in and bid on all these. Maybe not the one that's 7 hours, but there's none on buyout. I'm not going to go crazy. I think this card is probably 25K, 30K card. So let's just bid like 22. And if we win it, great. If we don't, not a big deal. But if we win it, we're kind of setting our own price. I'd probably list them both for like 32. And then for 30 seconds of work, I just made 20K MT. So that's one of my favorites, is just having your list. We talked about 2 strategies so far. 1, the newest set. There's trends here. There's patterns that we can pick up on. 2, being familiar with past sets and those mid-tier meta cards, the buyouts. Those are great. And then 3 is just working filters. As we've always done, we have filters for, dynamic duos or certain themes or colors. I was talking about the pink diamond WNBA cards. Like, that can be a pretty good filter. work through your filters, understand bottoms, and then use your bids to win good deals. And that's just a great way to do things. One thing I want to talk about today, and something we don't always talk about, is the high end of the market. Like, let's look at some of these, dark matters, not as much. These cards are just so expensive. Like, even me with near 3 million MT, I'm just not thinking about buying these guys. But it's the Galaxy Opals that are starting to pique my interest in really how rare some of them are. And when you come into like just a couple sets back, the Galaxy Opals from 'Tis the Season, like Wemby, there's one. There's absolutely just one. Even this Ginobili, which is not, a super in-demand card. He's not necessarily super expensive, but there's just 4. This is the most Giannis's I've seen up in a long time. So they're kind of rare. And even these jump starts, like I think there's no Chets up right now. Literally no Chets. Larry has 4, and his price is really holding because of it. Scarcity absolutely can impact, even going back like 3 sets to Flash. Paolo's a bit more common, but still quite rare. And Shea is incredibly rare, only 4, and he's still very, very expensive. Of course, most of the ones now will have some legend badges added. What does it mean? I will say, if you're really interested in one of the current Galaxy Opals, from this trend, it's better to buy them while they're still in packs. I'm not saying Scotty's price is going to go way up or skyrocket, but I'm just more thinking there's going to be not that many in the market in general. So if you do want to grab, a Galaxy Opal, I wouldn't do it the day they come out, but days like today and tomorrow, the last couple days they're in packs, really could be near their floor, at least for the next few weeks. Of course, over time, cards do go down, but for the most part, the cheapest they'll be in the short term would be while they're in packs at those last couple days. But most of these top tier cards don't just go down right away. They're in packs, they're sky high. By the end of their pack cycle, like 4 or 5 days in, they hit kind of a low, and then they leave packs and either stay steady or maybe trickle up a bit or can bounce a little bit with the market. But the big dive usually doesn't come at least for a month or so. So the point is, if you are eyeing one of these Galaxy Opals, maybe Jokic or Scotty, if you're going to pull the trigger, now's as good as time as any between today and tomorrow night. I think these cards will get a bit rare. I think in a week or two, we might see like 2 or 3 Jokic's on the market. In a week or two, we might see 2 or 3 Scotties. I wouldn't surprise me at all if when we start looking at these, just like we go to Feastin' and look at some of these Galaxy Opals, how many Paul Georges do we have? Just 4. So I think those cards will do similar activities and become pretty rare. So if you're thinking of getting a Galaxy Opal from the most recent set, now is not a bad time to do it. And the whole market as a whole at the top, it is a bit strong, just simply because we don't have any new cards that came out Tuesday. So some of these Galaxy Opals have kind of rebounded a bit. Like Larry, that's a bit extra badges, but for the most part, it's been steady, if not rising a little bit at the top. Friday should be a big drop. All-Stars a month away. Last year, that's when they released 100 overalls. So that was like February 13th. Today is January 14th. So in a month, it's realistic to think that 100 overalls will come. But that's good to know. So we have a month of Dark Matters being the best card, Galaxy Opals being the second best card. But when 100 overalls come out, that will be a big adjustment to the market. So for the next 3 to 4 weeks, we may have some pretty good stability, even near the top. Definitely a date to circle. February 13th will be around the new season. We'll have 100 overalls. That will be big. But I am expecting for the next 3 weeks or so, we can have some relative steadiness. Of course, there's the ups and downs, but it's going to be a really good time to make MT on the market because it'll be a little bit more, I don't want to say predictable, but just a little bit more consistent. So something to think about there. Other than that, I'm just moving and grooving as much as I can in the auction house, making a lot of bids, not winning them all. You can see I did win a Buzelis. I got like 5,000 back. Let's see if we sold anything. Nothing selling quite yet. Holding on to all the wild gems, still having hope an exchange will come. Of course, it did not come recently. And then I did make a note just to do my weekly collection clean out. So I sold a bunch of jerseys. I'm trying to sell a few more. I sold some shoes, but you can see the things I'm selling. I'm still holding on to my Kenny Smiths. I've been trading these guys a lot, buying below 20s, selling mid 20s. The exact card I kind of highlighted, Spencer Dinwiddie. You can see my strategy. I actually listed this Aldama just high, and this is a technique I'll actually shout out. It's called slow selling. And essentially, I'm listing him well above market, not necessarily expecting him to sell. But if he does, great. And if he doesn't, there's no harm. So feel free, if you have a bunch of cards in your auction house and you're like, I think Wild Gems will go up, they're kind of cheap. Like, what price would I be, semi-happy? Like, if this guy happens to sell at 22, I'm actually pretty good with that. I don't think he will, but I'm actually pretty good if he just happened to. You can do that slow sell technique, and over 24 hours, you may be surprised just due to scarcity or someone just making a quick purchase. Sometimes this stuff sells. Of course, if you list a card, exorbitantly out of range, no one's going to stop you. I don't think anyone's going to buy Kermit Washington for 65K, but hey, he's just sitting here anyway. Why not? On a more serious note, I'd say if you're going to slow sell, do it at a realistic price, maybe 10-20% more than what you're hoping. Just thinking, hey, let's see if he does sell. But yeah, every now and then I'll just come list a card way above price just to see if I get lucky. With that, guys, just keep grinding the game today. We'll be going live later tonight, hopefully finishing out Breakout. We'll probably make some progress on Domination, maybe a game or two. I usually do like 1 or 2 games of Domination a day and then just focus on Breakout or playing with friends in Park and All-Star. So just taking it easy, but having fun along the way. As usual, I really appreciate the support. We are sniffing 250 subscribers, which is amazing. I appreciate all the comments and the likes and everyone tapping into the live streams. Blown away by some of the stuff you all are sharing with me. Having great comments, talking about badges, asking questions about the auction house, like stuff I really do like to talk about. So please keep it coming. Any questions you all have or ideas or things that I miss, please let me know. I'm always happy to learn and just kind of share ideas. So I hope everyone has a great day today. Thank you for tapping in. Much love and peace.